Okay, it's been a while since we did an update video on the Odd Rod Racing team and what's happening at Shaw's Garage. It's not really been anything exciting happening this off season. I'll give you a quick update on where we're at with the Odd Rod racing program. Right here we see Ben Shaw hard at work on a project that I'll talk about here in just a minute. That's kind of sort of race related. And Odd Rod is tucked back in the shop. Haven't really done much to it. We do have a new engine in the works, but we've been waiting since September on a crankshaft. In fact, we've waited on pretty much every part for the new engine. As everybody knows, since COVID, it's just about impossible to get much of anything done in a timely manner anymore. So we started really in late July, early August, making plans for the 2022 season and started ordering parts and scrounging parts. And we currently have everything we need for the new engine except for crankshaft. And like I said, we've been waiting on it, I think since September, early September. And then they've got our heads up at One Way Technologies working on them, and they're not ready, and it's not One Way's fault. They're still waiting on valves that were supposed to be here 2 weeks ago. So it's just, we just have to wait on everything. And so that's where we're at. The machine work is done on the block. It's ready to be picked up. And again, all the other parts are here, ready to assemble a new engine. But we're not taking anything apart on this until we've got the new engine done and dynoed. Because it may not happen. I mean, race season is 7 weeks away, and it could very easily, all it's going to take is a couple little uh-ohs, and we won't be ready. So we're just going to leave the current engine still running fine. We're going to leave it in there until we're ready, and then it's actually coming out complete as a spare. We're not really robbing a lot of stuff off of it for the 2022 season. So anyway. So that's pretty much the update on that. We've done a few little things, getting ready to make some changes. We've got one of our transmissions. We got it freshened up the other day, and it's ready to go. And we're making some fuel system changes. Got some parts here waiting on that. Just minor things that will hopefully help us out. I wanted to talk a little bit today about the other aspect of racing. And in order to race, you've got to be able to get to the track. And for those of you that don't know, this is how we get to the track, is on a ramp truck. Anybody that races will tell you that there's always maintenance to be done to your tow rig. We've got guys that race. Paul, the guy that runs H-Gas Volkswagen, he actually tows on a single axle trailer behind a minivan. Neat little rig. It's just cool as it can be. We see him go down the highway every now and then, and because the car's so light, and he can tow with a nice lightweight rig like that. And then we've got guys that they get in their daily driver and hook it behind a flatbed trailer, and they tow to the track and strap their tools on and get there the best way they can. We've got guys that tow motorhomes with open trailers, and they tow using motorhomes with enclosed trailers. And we got guys with stacker trailers with 2 cars in them with a motorhome. So we've got a wide range of guys that use all kind of tow rigs, and we're, I think, the only one that consistently tows on a ramp truck, and that's just what we have to do. We got a couple other guys that have ramp trucks, and they'll bring them out a couple times a year, but we've got about, I would say we've got about 8,000 miles to cover next year in 11 races. And so we really depend on this thing and put in a lot of windshield time. So everybody has maintenance to do to their tow rigs, whether it's trailer tires, worn out pieces on the trailer. I've got a buddy whose motorhome's been down because he can't get parts. So he had to tow with a pickup truck for a few times. It's just, there's always something to be done to see that you get to the track. That's just part of racing. Sometimes it involves about as much work as the race car does. So we were doing off-season maintenance on our ramp truck just so we'd have that done before we got busy building new race motor. And we discovered we had a pretty significant problem going on, and so we're in the process of a top-end rebuild on this diesel. And we're putting a new set of heads, new injector pump, and set of blueprinted injectors. We're actually blueprinting our own injectors, and I'll show you that rig here in a minute. We've got parts everywhere. We've got a new injection pump. We've got a fresh set of rocker arms, new push rods. That's our turbo. So anyway, all of this has to be done so when it comes race time, we can dependably go up and down the road and focus completely on the race program and not worry about the tow vehicle. So racing's not always fun. There's a lot of behind the scenes work that goes on there, and this is just part of it. But we're here this weekend. We're in Tennessee, waiting on about 6 inches of snow, I think. So we're going to be snowed in, and we have all our parts here, we think, to get this put back together. Now, I mentioned earlier about how hard it is to get parts for all kinds of stuff. We see it every day now, not just race parts, but just ordinary things. So this piece right here is an intake gasket off of this diesel, and this is the one that I took off of a spare motor, and I had just put it on a couple years ago, and it really came off in good shape. Well, it's a good thing. There are none of these available anywhere. The manufacturer that makes them, and it was a common part. I mean, they made millions of these engines. They're saying 15 months on production of these. There's somebody on eBay got one. They want $1,000 for it because they know there are none in the United States. I mean, we've called and checked and looked, and you know, they're just not there. So we're going to have to reuse this and be real careful and use some really good sealer, and you know, it'll be okay. Not my preference. I like to do stuff right with new parts if possible, but it's either that or we're dead in the water. So it's a strange time we live in to not be able to get common items. So anyway, that's kind of what's going on there. We've got also got a 59 Chevrolet Apache pickup truck that we've been working on for a guy, and it's four-wheel drive. It's got a Vortec 350 in it, and somebody just kind of started putting this truck together years ago out of what they had, and it's never been on the road, of course. They brought it to us to get it running and driving, but this is what's interesting. Hang on, let me get a light. Ben, is there a light handy?
Here.
All right. Wanted to show for you car geeks out there. This is they took a 74 Blazer, four-wheel drive, and they cut the frame, and the frame slid inside the 59 Apache frame. Right here, this is the back part here is the 59 frame. This is the Blazer frame, which was really cool that they're that close of a fit. So they've got at least 2 feet of frame slid inside of the other, and it's not welded. They just put all the cross members back, body mounts, all those bolts, transmission support, all those bolts go through both frames. And you can see right here where the 2 frames meet. I don't know if I can get an inside view of it or not, maybe. Yeah, right there. That's where the Apache frame stops and the Blazer starts. So there's about 2 feet of it slid together. And it's not even welded. You just never know what you'll see that people will do. And I got to thinking about it. I thought, well, I mean, it's not unsafe. there's no way it's ever going to come apart or break or anything like that with that many bolts and the way the frames slid together. Now it might flex a little and creak or something like that, and we'll talk to the guy that owns the truck about, you know, possibly let's do some welding on it. But it just was kind of surprising to see it that way. So anyway, got a lot to do on this in our supposed spare time. But anyway, that's about all that's happening. Right here's where we're doing injectors for the diesel for the car hauler, and we're doing our own pop testing on the injectors. And what you try to do is match every injector to the same pop pressure. So we've taken them apart, cleaned them, disassembled, and you can shim the springs and get them to where they all pop to similar pressure, and that's what makes the engines run a little smoother. So we've been doing that. First time I've ever done that. Well, this is the first diesel I've ever owned, so everything's a learning experience. But we try to do as much stuff in-house as we can, and it's just getting really hard. I mean, these engines are getting really old, and it's getting really hard to find stuff for them. That injection pump that I just showed took 6 weeks to get, and we had to have it custom built. We had a set of cylinder heads that we had purchased a couple years back, and Mr. Ben has been cleaning and getting those ready. So you got any comments about next race season, Ben?
Hope we make it.
Hope we make it.
Yeah, it'll be all right.
Hope we make it and don't have to go back with last year's motor.
Yeah. Well, we will though if we have to.
Yeah,
it's all good.
Yeah, we'll try to be there if at all possible.
Yeah.
At least we're trying to make sure we got a tow rig ready to go. So anyway, that's about it. Just wanted to update everybody. I know this is not a real exciting video, but we just wanted to let everybody know we are still here, and just be patient, and we'll try to document future progress on the odd rod. We're going to try to video a lot of the engine assembly as much as we can, and hopefully that'll be a little more exciting. But we appreciate everybody's support, and we look forward to seeing everybody at the 2022 Southeast Gassers Association season.